So I have to apologize for his tardiness. He couldn't find where I put his socks this morning.
Lots changed in the nearly 8 years that I've been here. Let me just say a couple of things. First of all, the obvious I want to state, and that I know I speak for Patty and Amy and Annie, and obviously for me. We want to express our most profound and everlasting gratitude to President Trump. How do you properly thank someone who's given you back the freedom that was stolen from you? He didn't have to do this. He's a Republican president. I was a Democratic governor. And doing this does nothing to help his politics. President Trump is a man who is tough and outspoken, but he also has a kind heart. And this is an act of kindness, and I also believe it's the beginning of the process to actually turn an injustice into a justice. Sorry about this blood. All these years away, I never stop reminding myself of the words from a poem. It's called The Gate of the Year. Go out into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That shall be to you better than light and safer than a known way. It's been a long time since I've been home, nearly 8 years, nearly 3,000 days. I suppose a better way to measure how long it's been is through our daughters, Amy and Annie. When I left home so long ago, Amy, our older daughter, was a sophomore in high school. And it'll be 2 years this spring since she's graduated from college, and now just recently, Amy earned a master's degree. And we're very proud of you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And Annie, our younger daughter, was 8 years old when I left. She was about this high. Now she's 16, and now she has her driver's license. And she's doing good in school. And she plays the piano, and we're very proud of her, too. Look at you, sweetheart. Look at you.
She likes the attention.
My baby's growing up so fast. Again, on behalf of my family, we want to express our profoundest gratitude to President Trump. It's been a long, unhappy journey. These have been hard years for our children.
Yeah.
They've been hard years for Patty and for me. I spent my first 32 months in prison, nearly 3 years behind what the inmates call the razor wire, the barbed wire fence. You can't go near that fence. If you do, there are prison guards there armed with machine guns who have the discretion to shoot you. I didn't go near that fence. The buildings behind that fence where the inmates live and sleep are squalid places. They're cold and dark like tombs. There were about 900 inmates there. Drug dealers, cartel members, gangbangers, bank robbers. There were men there who committed murder, con artists, a lot of sex offenders. About 2% of the population were in the so-called white-collar category. For most of my time there, my home was a 6 foot by 8 foot prison cell with 4 cement walls, a big, heavy iron door that can shut you in, a small window with bars on it, and a bunk bed. I slept on the top bunk. Often late at night, I would look through that window and past those bars out into the night sky, and I think of home. I think of my children. I think of Patty. Sometimes I could almost feel her near me.
Just ignore him.
I would say to myself, one day I'll make it back to you. And hold your hand, sweetheart.
Woman of substance.
And I would remember what a gracious thing it's been to walk through life with you. Thank you for waiting.
You're bleeding again.
She's something else. What's that?
She sold it in.
She sure is something, isn't she?
That's right.
Yep. Anyway, so again, on behalf of Patty and Amy and Annie and me, we want to again express our deepest gratitude to President Trump. Like I said, as a Republican president and a Democratic governor, he didn't have to do this. But President Trump is not a typical politician.
That's right.
He's tough, he's outspoken, he gets things done. He's a problem solver in a business where too many politicians don't want to solve problems. All they want to do is play politics and get nothing done for the people. He's got I'm a Trumpocrat.
The Trumpocrat, that's right.
Are you going to vote for him?
If I have the ability to vote, I'm going to vote for him.
Pardon?
Well, I don't know that they'll allow me to vote, but I'll get into that in a minute. But let me just say that our president is he's tough and outspoken, and he has the courage to challenge the old way.
That's right.
He's the one who's actually fighting to bring real change. That's why he gets so much pushback. But notwithstanding being tough, he's also a man with a kind heart. He sees wrong and he tries to right it, just like he did in the case of Alice Marie Johnson. You know who she is, the grandmother from Alabama who served 21 years in prison on a life sentence as a first-time nonviolent drug offender. A life sentence as a first-time nonviolent drug offender.
First step in all of it.
Alice Marie Johnson's case is probably one of the better illustrations that shows how the federal criminal justice system disproportionately discriminates against African Americans and people of color, and how the 1994 crime bill has led to the over-sentencing and to the creation of what the author Michelle Alexander has called the new Jim Crow in America.
That's right.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's right. Dump the Clintons.
1994 crime bill passed by my fellow Democrats before I got to Congress. Fortunately, as soon as President Trump learned of the injustice against Alice Marie, he immediately put a stop to it, and he sent her home to her family. And fortunately, because this is a president who gets things done, through his leadership and with the help of organizations like Cut 50, President Trump was able to build the necessary bipartisan support to pass the historic First Step Act, a new law that begins the process of reforming a broken criminal justice system and putting an end to the racist injustice caused by that racist 1994 crime bill. Now, as for me, obviously, I've got...
All right, that is the former governor of Illinois there.
We lost his earpiece a short time ago. The final word to you, Rod, what's the future hold for you? I know you're back with your family. Is it reality television again? Is it books? Are you going to lay low?
Well, I need to find a job. At some point, I need to start working and providing for my family and working to contribute to the education of my children and to my wife, who's worked so hard and for so long all by herself. So clearly, I have to make a living. But I'd like to say this, Trace. I know what I'm saying is true, and if anybody would take the time to look into the facts and circumstances surrounding my case and the people who did this and what they've tried to do to President Trump, what they did to an American hero like Bernie Kerik and a whole bunch of other people, and including a criminal justice system that is inherently racist and disproportionately discriminates against people of color and African Americans. I've seen it. I saw it in 8 years in prison. If we don't do something about stopping this, if we don't rein in these uncontrolled prosecutors who have unlimited power, the life of our democracy will be choked, and we will lose our freedoms, the precious freedom of the American people to choose their own leaders through free and fair elections. That's what's at stake here. Our country's in trouble, and there's a small clique of some of the same people in the Justice Department who did it to me, and they've been trying to do it to President Trump.
Well, listen, you have your critics, sir, but we wish you the best of luck. And I can tell you who's not going to hire you is any shaving companies, because the cut on the chin today during the news conference was pretty vicious. I mean, I'll give you 10 seconds to respond, but you were tapping it the whole time. Apparently, a big bit of a change between prison razor blades and domestic razor blades, or?
Yeah, I've been bruised, I've been battered, and I was bloody today. I haven't shaved with a razor like that in nearly 8 years, nearly 3,000 days, so I got to start practicing again.
Rod Blagojevich, good of you to join us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.